Hi everyone, and welcome to episode number 243 of the Karen Knits podcast. My name is Karen, and I'm coming to you from South Central Pennsylvania, where I live, where I work, where I knit and sometimes crochet, and get into all kinds of other crafting shenanigans. I'm so happy to have you here with me today. It is Saturday, February 1st, 2025, and it's a gorgeous day out there. It's a little on the cool side, but it's a bright blue sky, sunny kind of day. Gorgeous out there. Very little wind that I can see. I'm just looking out my window right there. So if you're a new viewer, thank you so much for coming by and checking out my channel and seeing what I'm all about. I hope you enjoy it here and hope you come back next week and for subsequent videos. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back for another week to see what kind of shenanigans I've been up to. I'm so happy to have all of you here with me today. And if you have not yet subscribed, please do. It helps my teeny tiny little channel. Like the video, share, comment, all that fun stuff. Hit the notification bell if you want to be notified when I post new videos, which is typically once a week, although sometimes I have the odd video that comes out in the middle of the week. There will be, spoiler alert, there will be a little video coming out Tuesday or Wednesday probably. I'm not sure which day yet, but it will be coming out in the next little while. And that one will be the first episode of my Stash Down series. So, we're finished January. I have my stats on what came in and what went out of my stash. So, I will post an update for you guys on that. I'll film that probably on Monday or Tuesday. I'm not sure which day I'll have time to get that done. So, what else was I going to tell you? Got my hair cut. It still looks a little bit wild. What else is new with my hair, right? Anyway, Olive is a happy girl sitting here looking over my shoulder. So, I have only one whip that I worked on this week, and I didn't even finish it. Work has been busy. As I think I mentioned last week when I was talking with you, I'm teaching the equivalent of an extra course the first half of this semester. So we're almost halfway through that. 3 out of the 7 weeks are pretty much done. But it's keeping me busier than usual. So I've been tied up with a lot of school and work things this week. So I haven't got as much done as I would have liked. But such is life. And even with only working on one project, I still didn't finish it. I'm so close, oh so close to finished it though, but not quite, not quite. So anyways, that one that I'm yakking about is housed in this little project bag that I made for myself a little while back. And these are my toe up 2 at a time sort of shorty socks. And they're almost done. They're so close to being done. And I'm all tangled up here. Good grief. How can I get that tangled up just taking them out of a bag? Anyway, here's where I am now. If you can see, I'm on the ribbing. And I finished since I saw you last week, I was down here where the progress keeper is. So I finished the gusset increasing. Yeah, it was partway through the gusset increasing when I saw you last week. So I finished that, did the heels, heel turn, heel flap, did the leg, and I'm about halfway done the ribbing. I probably only have about like 10 rounds, 10 or 15, no, not 15, only about 10 rounds left to go, but I just couldn't get it done before I filmed today. I just could not manage to get it done. So these will be finished, they will be finished later today, I'm sure, hopefully. And if not, they'll be finished tomorrow. So, almost a finished object. And I only have about that much yarn left, so I'm going to keep going with this until that's exhausted. And then I will switch to the bare yarn to finish up the last of the cuff, unless I get to my 15 rounds that I like doing before I run out of yarn. but I'll probably keep going until I actually run out of yarn. The yarn I'm using for that is Little Bay Blue. I keep wanting to say Little Boy Blue. Little Bay Blue. And just making sure I'm showing it the right direction. The colorway is Groove and Gecko. And I'm really loving this yarn. I really enjoy it. I have another skein of yarn by this same dyer that I'm excited to get going on, but I'm not quite ready to start another one. I have another sock project I'll be starting also today that I'll talk about and work on instead before I cast on another pair of some sort of shorties. That's the plan, at least. So that's it for my knitting progress. That's not much, but what I have been getting all psyched up to start since I got out of bed this morning is Sock Madness is almost here. We're oh so close to starting Sock Madness, and I am so excited. You guys know every year I get so excited about Sock Madness. I absolutely love Sock Madness. And this year it's Sock Madness 19. I can't believe this has been around for 19 years. And I started up early on. I think this is might be 11 or 12 years I've been participating in Sock Madness. I'm going to have to double check that, and if I remember I'll add a little blip here with what year this will be. I think this is going to be year 12 that I've participated with this. I've been doing this for a long time and I love it. So I'll put a link down below to the thread or the Ravelry group about Sock Madness, and there you'll find all kinds of details on all things Sock Madness. And we're getting wound up to start Sock Madness 19. So I'm going to spend a bit of time now talking about Sock Madness and kind of how it works and what goes on. So in order to participate in Sock Madness, you have to register for it. So registration opened today and it runs for 2 weeks. Registration closes at the end of the day on the 14th of February. So you have to register, and at that point, once you've registered, you will receive, everyone who properly registers around the 1st of March will receive a link to, in an email that you send during your registration process, you'll receive a link to what's known as the qualifying pattern. And with the qualifying pattern, which will run for usually 2-week period, you are required to knit the pair of socks within that usually 2-week time window, following the pattern specifically. So when you're in the actual competition, the rules are very strict on exactly how the socks have to be knit. They have to be done to a certain length. They have to have a certain part done for the heel, depending on what's in the pattern. They have to have a very specific length of foot, all of that stuff. You have to post pictures in a Ravelry, on your Ravelry project page, that will include specific pictures. It might show the specific images from the front of the sock, laying straight, the back of the sock, the sides. Sometimes you have to show the inside of the sock. You have to show specific details so that the moderators and the judges in Sock Madness are able to see that you have done the sock properly. And it's done this way so that the playing field is kept as level as possible, so that specifically with the length, you have to do a certain number of repeats or a certain length, so that people that have really teeny tiny feet don't have a competitive advantage over those that have big monster feet, like size 10.5, 11 feet, like I have on the end of my fat legs. So once you've completed the qualifying round pair of socks within that time frame and done properly, you'll be placed onto a team. And then with the teams, you will be competing each round with people on your specific team. And usually there's upwards of 26 or more teams. They usually work it through the number of letters in the alphabet, and each of the teams will have a specific name. And in the registration process, you answer some questions that help the moderators figure out where an appropriate placement for you is on which team, from whether you're a brand new knitter with very little sock knitting experience and you're a very slow knitter, up to people who are, they can knit in their sleep and they can churn out a pair of complicated socks in a day or two. Whereas some of the slower people, it's going to take them the full 2 weeks to finish that. So they put people on teams. And then we begin the actual competition portion. So once you have the competition portion, they will release one pattern at a time. And during the first round, everyone receives the pattern and everyone knits as quickly as they can. And they have it set so the first certain number of people on each team will advance to the next round. So depending on how many people are on each team, it might be something like round one, if there's 40 people on each team, it might be the fastest 35 people on each team will advance to round two. Then the fastest 30 people on each team will make it out of round two into round three. And that continues until there's only one person left on each of the teams. And then at that point, it's the final round, which is usually round 7. The fastest person on each team, they all go head to head against each other for first, second, and third fastest knitter. So that's the main process. They also publish a couple of bonus patterns or warm-up patterns ahead of time. So when we got up this morning and they announced that registration was open, they also opened another thread on Ravelry in the group that listed or had a warm-up pattern. So this is a completely optional pattern. Individuals can knit this pattern if they want to or not. We have a 2-week window before something else is going to happen. Perhaps that'll be a second warm-up pattern. I don't know. It typically is, but the first warm-up pattern was released sometime this morning. So I found the pattern when I crawled out of bed this morning, and I went and checked I logged into Ravelry. And the pattern is called A Gansey Adventure, and it's by Zalawa. I'm not sure how that's pronounced. I apologize if I'm butchering it. I will leave a link to the pattern down below, but the pattern hasn't been posted on Ravelry yet. They just had information on how we can access it. If I can't post the link to the pattern down below quite yet, then I will post it next week. So I'm all ready to get started on this. And what this pattern does, which looks like a lot of fun, it's a top-down pattern. You have 3 options that you can do on the cuff. So I think you can do either 2x2, 1x1, twisted rib, or the third option, I forget what that is. And then the second option is a certain Gansey pattern. There's 3 different ones you can choose from. So you can do something different on either sock. Doesn't matter, you can use the same thing. And then there's a specific way you do the heel, whether you want a narrow, medium, or wide heel, so you have that option. And then there's an option of what you want to do for the textured pattern down the top of the foot. And then there's also an option for what you do with the toe. Typically we don't have that many choices in Sock Madness, but where this is the warm-up, there's a lot more flexibility. So I have my yarn caked up for it. I used a yarn that I dyed myself a while back. It was one that was sitting back in this tub for the last quite a while, but here's my yarn. It's kind of a gray and purple tonal sort of variegated. So I'm hoping it's light enough, and I'm hoping that the yarn will work out well for doing this pattern. But that's my yarn. I got that caked up this morning. I still have to print up my pattern and start deciding. I haven't decided if I'm going to do a 2x2 rib or a 1x1 twisted rib. I still haven't decided that, so I best start thinking about that and decide, because I like both. I don't mind doing twisted rib. I have no troubles doing it. It doesn't feel awkward in my hand. I'm fine doing that. There's a whole bunch of hay bales just going past me. A squirrel. Anyway, so Sock Madness is ready to go. So the warm-up pattern is here. I will be knitting the first warm-up pattern. It worked out perfect timing because I'm almost done my 2 at a time toe-up sort of shorty socks, and I was starting to decide, I was starting to think about what yarn I was going to use for starting my next pair of sort of shorty socks. Now I don't have to do that because I have the Gansey Adventure socks to do. So I'm excited to get that started. I have not yet got going on the next baby blanket, which I really should because the baby has arrived. The baby was actually due, I think the due date was tomorrow, but they induced her on Tuesday or Wednesday, and her third little girl arrived on Wednesday night, late Wednesday evening, like 11 something in the evening on Wednesday. So mom and baby are fine, and I need to get going because I only have 1 out of the 3 blankies done. But I think I've narrowed down one of the yarns I'm going to use for the next one. I just need to sit down, shut up, and haul it out of the tub and get crocheting. But that clearly still hasn't happened. I talked about this last week. I still haven't done it. I'm bad. Really, I'm bad. But we're going to be heading out in a little bit. I need to get a few more things done. I need to get the editing done, need to get this video uploaded, and then the hubby and I are heading out. We're going to go out to see a comedy show this evening. It's at a theater on a university campus about 40-minute drive from here, 40-minute drive from here. So we're going to go to that this evening. So we're going to have to leave in time because we want to run a few errands and things first, and go out for supper and then go to the show. So we're going to see John Christ. I love his stuff. Hubby and I both think he is very funny. We really enjoy his material. So that's what we're going to go see tonight. So it should be fun. It should be a lot of fun. And I will be taking my knitting. I probably won't be knitting at the concert. I might take my crochet with me and get that started because I don't know if I want to be trying to follow a textured pattern chart while we're traveling. It might be easier to work on the crochet. Stay tuned next week and see if I actually get that done. First off, though, I will finish my toe-up socks, the 2 at a time toe-up sort of shorty socks. Those, I have to finish those before I can do any, or before I start anything else. So I think I'm starting to ramble now. So I will let you go. Another little bit shorter episode, but I didn't have much to show you today. Next week I should have more. I should have my finished socks, the Gansey socks. I'll have progress to show you on those. I hope I have those at least half done. And I hope I have a fair bit of work done on that baby blanket. So on that note, I'm going to shut up for real this time. I will let you go, and I will see you guys again in a week. Actually, there's going to be, no, I'm not shutting up right now. I lied. I will be, as I mentioned a little bit at the beginning, I will be posting my first Stash Down episode. It'll probably get posted on Tuesday or Wednesday. I'll film it on Monday or Tuesday. And I'm going to go over all the stash that came into my home and went out of my home this past month for January. So I'm going to get that filmed, and I'm going to get that posted for you guys to see later this, probably Tuesday or Wednesday. So Now for real, honest, I'm going to shut up now. I will let you go, and I will see you guys again soon. Alrighty, take care everyone. Bye.